We talk about a lot of classics here, and there's one place where you can find them, and us together, bestclassicsever.com.
That's where you'll find many of our favorite underrated movies and shows. And they're kicking off a big holiday giveaway on December 3rd, where you can win free subscriptions and streaming devices.
So follow Best Classics Ever on social media and go to bestclassicsever.com to watch episodes of our show, The Matinee, streaming free in their Hollywood Canteen section.
Attention, culture consumers. Join me, the Queen of Queries, Sarah O'Connor, and my band of nerdy knights.
Colleen McMillan.
Flo Siegel.
And Anders Drew.
On Bohemian Geek Studies, where we take extremely dorky dives into our favorite fandoms, especially that Star Wars galaxy far, far away. Listen each week as we examine the stories that mean so much to us. Bohemian Geek Studies is available wherever you get your podcasts and is proudly part of the Forgotten Entertainment family.
Ladies and gentlemen, please notice that exits are conveniently located at the front and rear of this auditorium. When leaving the theater, we suggest that the exit at the front of the auditorium will allow you easier access to the parking areas. Thank you.
That's a raccoon, yo. What are you doing?
Feeding the raccoon.
It's a trash panda. When the three burglars thing happens.
Oh, and they're all singing the same line.
Yes. No, notice, Jeb, that when they put their hats on, I'm not going to be able to see facial expressions. So that's on you, man. That's on you. Okay, camera rolling.
Yeah, I get it. Can I get an interview about Betsy's wedding? No, anything but that.
Get lost.
Anything but that.
Get my hat. Hello, I'm Mike Fields.
I'm Mike Butler.
And you're listening to the Forgotten Cinema Podcast. Each episode, we highlight a film that, for a variety of reasons, was forgotten by audiences. Whether it's because a more popular movie was released at the same time, or the movie simply didn't catch on with an audience in its initial run. We'll discuss what we love about the movie, or perhaps don't love about it. Well, we always recommend that you revisit it. If you enjoy our podcast, we want to hear from you. We are on Instagram and Facebook. Find us. Our podcast is available on all platforms with a backlog of 100 episodes for your listening pleasure. What's going on?
Nothing. Just getting ready to go up on stage, doing a couple of vocal exercises, doing some stretching, all that good stuff, expanding my diaphragm.
All right.
About to kill my other fellow actors with an axe.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know. What are we doing today? What are we doing this week?
We are doing 1992's Noises Off.
Mm-hmm.
A film about a traveling theater group that finds so much action going on behind the scenes, they almost ruin the performances. A nice, succinct synopsis.
That's it?
That's it.
That's it? So it's a traveling group. I thought that they are... I don't understand as much as I understand about filmmaking as probably as very little I understand about plays and putting them on and whatnot. But it seemed like they were doing everything to get to the city. Like they were before they would get to Broadway.
They were kind of building it up to that.
Is that how that works? Is that how it works?
Some shows do. Yeah. Some shows just start in Broadway, and some shows have to gain popularity to be able to get that spot.
Right.
I've never heard of a show like guaranteed that spot, but you got to start in like Poughkeepsie first.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Okay. All right.
And they're definitely not a traveling theater group because they don't seem to really know each other very well until they came together.
True.
For this play.
Gotcha. All right. So Noises Off has a runtime of 101 minutes. It's rated PG-13. It's had a production budget of $12 million. It's a limited release date. Did not have a wide release. So its limited release date is March 20th, 1992. That's a Friday. Its opening weekend, it did $981,000. Domestic and worldwide are the same at $2.2 million. So clearly not a box office hit. Probably a box office flop if you were honest about that, right? Yeah.
Well, if they put it in a limited release, that's what's going to happen.
True. Production company was Touchstone Pictures and Amblin Entertainment, and distributed by Buena Vista Pictures. As Disney and Spielberg all over it.
And when the film started at Touchstone Pictures, my note was, it's Disney, but shh. Yeah, it's like all the films they want to keep under wraps.
Like we don't know. We know. So it came out the 20th. It came up against a wide release, Basic Instinct. I'm sure Butler has seen that film.
I have not actually seen that film.
You've never seen Basic Instinct?
No.
Is it because of the scene that everyone talks about?
I mean, that kind of turns me on to it. Is like, if this is what everyone talks about, then is the movie any good at all?
The movie is decent. I mean, that scene is, everyone talks about it because it's such a big thing, but it's like, it's made like it's 5 seconds, and it's just like, okay,
who cares? But that's why I never watched it. Because it's like, is the rest of the movie any
it's
good?
Okay. It's not a terrible film. Like I for some reason, I always lump Basic Instinct with Fatal Attraction for some stupid reason because it's Michael Douglas.
Right.
But I prefer Fatal Attraction.
Fatal Attraction's good. It's got a bunch of
if I'm comparing those two movies, but Basic Instinct is definitely it's worth to watch.
Right.
And as equally not worth to watch is Basic Instinct 2. So also we had a limited release on the 20th, Shadows and Fog. On the 27th, which is the week after, you had White Men Can't Jump, which is a movie that we covered here many seasons ago. 2 seasons ago. The Rodney Dangerfield Ladybugs, The Cutting Edge, and Ruby. And then the week before, which is the 13th, you had Article 99, My Cousin Vinny, and American Me. And then in the limited release, Shakes the Clown and Howard's End. Does any of those ring a bell to you?
My Cousin Vinny. A lot of the stuff from that first week you listed, other than the Shadow and Fog one. I have no idea what that is.
Shadows and Fog. I want to say that's Woody Allen.
Oh, that's what
I believe it's Woody Allen. Oh, you didn't. Okay, you're like I know that you don't like him. I get that, but come on, you're never gonna watch that Shadows and Fog.
No, it's not that I don't like him. I also don't like his stuff.
I like the writing, but I know we're not supposed to. Which is fine. Directed by Peter Bogdanovich. He was nominated for 2 Oscars actually for one movie. He was nominated as a writer and director for the movie The Last Picture Show. He also did the 1985 Mask, not the Jim Carrey one. He's done Saint Jack and The Thing Called Love. You might have seen Bogdanovich on Sopranos. He played the shrink for Lorraine Bracco's character. So
okay.
He was there too. And he's also in Law and Order a lot. So FYI.
He's an actor and writer-director.
Well, yeah, I guess. But I just put his directing credits. Written by Marty Kaplan. This is based on a stage play by Michael Frayn. But Kaplan has written Striking Distance, the Bruce Willis on a boat in the middle of Pittsburgh movie, and The Distinguished Gentleman. I think Striking Distance is on our list.
I was going to mention that. Yeah. I remember liking Striking Distance.
I did too. And then I think I caught it the other day and I was like, I mean, I could still do it. I could still talk about it, but yeah. So Michael Frayn wrote stage play. He's written various novels and other plays, but he's also done the movie Clockwise and Remember Me with the question mark. Cinematography by Tim Surstedt. He has done Teen Wolf, the Michael J. Fox Teen Wolf, that is, Critters, Mannequin,
that's nice. Bill
and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Idiocracy, the TV show Silicon Valley, and Vacation Friends more recently, which I saw, but Butler did not.
Not yet.
Well, edited by Lisa Day, who's done Eddie Murphy Raw, White Fang, and Great Balls of Fire. And produced by Frank Marshall, who he's all over the place. Exactly. Huge producer. But just to give you an idea, these are the movies that have been nominated for Best Picture that he's produced. Raiders of the Lost Ark. I don't know if you've heard of that. The Color Purple, Seabiscuit, The Sixth Sense, and The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. So you had Carol Burnett, who is in this movie, who plays Dottie Otley and Mrs. Clackett. Mrs. Clackett is her name on the stage. I would assume a lot of people know her from Annie, but also the Carol Burnett Show on TV and Carol Company, which was kind of a revival of that TV series. And then she's done a ton of Broadway stuff. Michael Caine as Lloyd Fellows. He's the director. I don't know. He's not the writer. No, he's just the director. He's the director of the play in the movie. He has won 2 Oscars, one for Hannah and Her Sisters and the other for The Cider House Rules. He's also been nominated for many other Oscars: Alfie, Sleuth, Educating Rita, and The Quiet American. Denholm Elliott as Selsden Mowbray. Denholm Elliott has passed away in 1982. Like, this is his last theatrical film. And then he passed away, which is, rest in peace.
Marcus Brody.
Exactly. He's obviously from Raiders of the Lost Ark, but he also was nominated for an Oscar for his role in A Room with a View. He's also in A Bridge Too Far, Trading Places, and The Razor's Edge. And in the play, he's known as the burglar. Julie Hagerty as Poppy Taylor. She is the stage director, right?
Poppy as the stage director, stage manager.
She's in Airplane, What About Bob, Just Friends, and Marriage Story. You know what's funny is when you go on IMDb Pro to look for Julie Hagerty, her credit that they have her there is not Airplane. It's like, that's how
for the main credit?
Yeah.
Is it What About Bob? Because we did What About Bob.
It's not What About Bob. It's a movie. It's I can't remember the movie, but it's not.
Freddy Got Fingered. It's the very first movie.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
It's Freddy Got Fingered. It's
that's
like, really?
Ridiculous.
That's the movie that we're going to equate with her?
Movie. Oh,
it's Airplane, God. Everyone. It's Airplane. Mary Lou Henner as Belinda Blair, or in the play, she's Flavia Brent. She's in LA Story. She's obviously in the TV show Taxi, the TV show Evening Shade, and she's also in the Hallmark TV show, the Aurora Tea Garden Mysteries with Cameron Bure, right? Candace Cameron Bure, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess she's on that. I think she plays one of the mothers or something like that. But she's more known as from Taxi and Evening Shade. Mark Lynn Baker as Tim Allgood. I could just give you the credit for Perfect Strangers because that's what everyone knows him as.
That's right. My girlfriend did not know Perfect Strangers.
Really?
I was like, oh, this is the one with what's the name of the show with the foreign guy? Because I always forget the name. I look it up. I go, oh, Perfect Strangers. She goes, what? I go, what?
Wow, that's interesting.
Like, I gotta find this. I don't know if it's streaming somewhere, but
I mean, I don't think I finished the series, but I did watch a lot of it.
Yeah.
I
also don't know if it still holds up. I don't know if
probably
there's gonna be some foreigner jokes, and I'm just like.
You got to take those with a grain of salt.
I know.
He directed a lot of episodes for Hanging with Mr. Cooper. He was also, I don't know if he was in it, but he directed a lot, which is interesting. You have Christopher Reeve as Frederick Dallas, and in the play he's known as Philip Brent. Obviously, Christopher Reeve passed away in 2004. Real quickly with Mark Lynn Baker, what's his role? Is he just the handyman in the play? What is he?
He's an understudy, and he is like a tech. Yeah,
jack of all trades kind of guy.
Pretty much. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So back to Christopher Reeve. He's obviously everyone knows him as Superman. He is in the movie Death Trap, The Remains of the Day, Village of the Damned, and Street Smart. And then John Ritter as Gary Lejeune or Roger Trempleman. Trempleman. Yeah, they never really kind of say that a lot in the play. He passed away in 2003, actually. Christopher Reeve and John Ritter passed away, I think, almost a year apart. He's in the TV show Three's Company, Hearts of Fire, the TV show Hooperman. He's also in the series Problem Child, the movie series, and Sling Blade. And Nicolette Sheridan as Brooke Ashton, or in the play Vicky, and she is doing the TV show Knots Landing and the TV show Desperate Housewives. So a lot of credits in terms of they play two different people in the movie and in the play. The play that is being performed in this movie is called Nothing On, right? Yeah,
Nothing's On. Yeah,
Nothing On. It is they are basically doing an American version of this play that was a big hit in London.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I had seen this a long time ago. And I remember liking it big time. I always remembered the stuff in terms of when they started fighting and they started doing this stuff on the stage. But I think this time watching it, kind of like my second viewing or third viewing, I really started appreciating just the choreography of the actors and the dialogue and everything, and just how it is like a play almost when this movie we're watching. It's a movie version. It's an adaptation of a play, of a rehearsal of a play. And and I got to tell you, I know that it got knocked for that. I don't care. I like that. That's something that appealed to me, but that's something that you're going to knock back then, but you're going to love now because now you go, this is so meta. But I'm saying, you meant like somebody in general, because I liked it back then. Yeah. I liked it back then, not realizing why I liked it back then. It's probably because of the writing and all that stuff. Right. But you had never seen this. No. You never heard of this. Never even heard of it. Okay. So I'm curious into your initial reactions to this film. What do you think my initial reaction was? I think you liked it, but I don't know. Yeah. I want to do this play so bad. I'm watching it going, this would be so much fun to do. It would take a lot of rehearsals, but this would be a lot of fun. Well, I'm wondering how they would do just to get off topic, how they would do in the play when they have the backs behind the stage, behind the screen, like behind the stage and in front of the stage. Because there's different action happening. I wonder if they split it on the actual stage when you're watching. Yeah, I don't know. Or like you can't rotate that stage because stuff happens simultaneously. Yes, yeah. I was wondering the same thing, how you'd present it. Obviously, I think the bulk of Act 2 for your play would be the back of house. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how you would do front of house. But go ahead. Like you'd want to do this? I would want to do. I think it's a lot of fun. I love, like you said, the choreography. Yeah, just going back and forth must have been so much fun to do. It must have been, even filming it, a lot like doing a stage play, because obviously they're rehearsing at the beginning. Oh yeah. Then they're rehearsing. You got to rehearse that rehearsal, and there's also a lot of stuff as an actor, as someone who's done a lot of stage. A lot of the things that gave me PTSD of dealing with actors who are just really expound on that. When they keep asking director questions, I go, honey, darling, would you blah, blah, like this fake niceness that just doesn't need to be there. Can I have this motivation for why I have to take this off the stage? And it's just because you have to take it off the stage. The Christopher Reeve character. Christopher Reeve's character going, I know that. And I'm just a little dumb with plot. I'm sorry, but and he's perfectly nice, but it's just why? What is my motivation for taking off when you have to take something off the stage? You have to take something off the stage. Just take it off the stage. It's just got to clear the set. It's just easier. But there's a lot of other stuff like that, like the back talking about he's with them and there's with it, just act. The whole time I'm watching it going, oh my God, I would shoot myself during this rehearsal because they're doing everything but acting. And it's just I can feel
like when a Lloyd like tries to act nice but is also super frustrated.
Mhm.
Like I was just like, oh yeah, yep.
When he's up top and he's like, sardines.
You leave the phone, you take the sardines.
So what part would you play?
Oh man, I don't know. I think I'd want to be Gary because he has the most, I think, physical comedy.
Sure.
So I think that
You're
would
going
be
to
a
have to
lot
take
of
that
fun.
pratfall. Let John Ritter style pratfall down the stairs.
But I love pratfalls.
I know, I got you.
So I think I'd want to do that. I could also probably see myself as Lloyd.
Oh, what, the director?
Being like, because I've done plays where I've been in the audience. Because I imagine when this play goes on, he's actually in the audience.
I don't know. I know that in the movie, compared to the play, that the voiceover narration and the opening scene when he leaves the New York theater because he thinks it's going to be bad, and when he comes back and he's like, that's not in the original. That was all designed. It was all written for the movie,
right? I figured that
to wrap it. And the movie, the play itself is just basically the 3 acts that you see on stage.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I mean, you could probably, you could. I would assume that if in the play it hits him watching the play, I would assume he'd be in the audience. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. See, I don't have that much knowledge of just the history of stage plays and whatnot. So I'm curious as to at what point it became the norm, or it was okay, or like they
put somebody
outside the stage. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like when did that become something that was like, oh, we're doing this, we can do this? Like kind of like, oh my God, he put somebody outside the stage, like that kind of thing.
That's probably a more modern invention, but I'm sure people have always tried to do that. But I'm sure it really more work now because. You tried to do that during the Globe Theater days of Shakespeare that started right. They'd be like, oh, we could go up on stage then.
Yeah, but they also weren't having women play women parts on the
That is also
Globe
true.
Theater. So, I mean, you know, it's not, they weren't getting a lot of stuff right. What did you, was there anybody in, the other notes I have here is like, I really miss John Ritter after watching this movie.
Oh, absolutely.
He's great. He's just great. He's doing stuff that you don't necessarily catch maybe the first time, but just his acting it's just, he's just a solid comedic actor and he really knows what he's doing.
Oh, absolutely. I think it was great to pair him with Gary with Dottie.
Yes.
Because Carol Burnett is the same kind of just classic comedic actor. They are so good.
Mm-hmm.
They are like the top of their level. And when they act together, that whole scene where, I mean, Christopher Reeve's Frederick Dallas is just kind of the guy in the middle between their acting and them fighting in Act 2. Act 2 kind of hinges upon Carol Burnett and John Ritter doing their thing. And it's absolutely wonderful. It's wonderful.
Christopher Reeve, though, I think is funnier and is more, I think he's funnier than people remember. And I think also it's not unfair, but he's always going to be remembered as Superman. But he's other stuff that he has done, he is very good in.
Oh,
you
absolutely.
know what I mean? Like he's an accomplished actor, but whether it's unfortunate or it's fortunate or not, people are only going to remember him as Superman.
See, that's one of the other things I liked about Christopher Reeve was he was okay with that.
Yeah,
He's like one of the very few actors who's like, I love that, you know, kids look up to me. Like,
sure.
He liked that.
But he's good in this. He's really good in this.
And he plays another like kind of Christopher Reeve-esque, like
affable,
nice guy.
Doofus dude,
Yeah, he doesn't like violence. He gets nosebleeds. He's basically playing Clark Kent as an actor.
Just not as geeky, I guess. Like
not as geeky.
Yeah. Not like, you know, hello, it's like that kind of stuff.
But like he's just the victim of Gary's attacks because Gary thinks that Fred slept with Dottie when Fred was just talking to Dottie all night one night.
Right.
So Gary tries to kill him with an axe.
I also like the fact that, and I don't know if this was purposely, but like how when things go wrong on stage, John Ritter's character Gary can't adjust and adapt to it. You know, he has a tough time trying to like.
Well, you feel bad. I've been there when someone's flopped on stage and you have to be the one to try to recover.
Yeah.
But it seems like every time he goes out on stage, no one else is. So he has to do it over and over and over.
He's like knocking upstairs.
I think while I was watching, I go, you know, he's actually not doing too bad a job considering it's just him on stage trying to get things done. I was like, oh, they're keeping it going until the very end where it's just like absolutely falls apart.
Was there anybody in the play that maybe, or in the movie, excuse me, that you were like okay with or didn't like, or do you think how well do you think it was casted? Let's put it that way.
Oh, I think it was perfectly casted, but I think maybe some actors and actresses were shortchanged.
Okay.
Like Mary Lou Henner as Belinda was just kind of, I guess she's the voice of reason.
I think she just
didn't
wants
have
to
as
make
much
she wants to
do.
make everything happen.
She wants to make everything happen. She wants to make everything everybody happy.
Well, she's also enamored with Frederick.
Right.
So, she likes him, but she's trying to just, make sure everything's copacetic with everyone.
Yeah. So she's kind of the negotiator between the group, but I don't think she's given enough, like maybe comedic bits.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nicolette Sheridan also doesn't have quite as much to do, but she does get some good bits, especially on stage.
Yeah.
When everything goes wrong and like hitting doors and trying to get in things. That's about it. Maybe a little bit more Poppy. I don't think Poppy gets maybe as many jokes either.
Yeah.
Tim gets a couple of good ones, but I don't think Poppy gets a little shortchanged as well. Because there's so much you can do with like a stage manager dealing with this kind of a production. Stage managers are always tearing their hair out.
But they don't really, and they kind of in the movie they talk about how like at the end, like she's been having not an affair, but she's been with Lloyd.
Lloyd's just been playing both, Brooke and Poppy at the same time. Yeah,
right. And you never really get that. And you don't get any kind of scenes or anything that like one knows that or one. It's just kind of like that's how it is. And then and she finds out she's pregnant later, and so they kind of rush through that. Whatever. I know that the movie ended on a happy note, but not the play. The stage play does not. So it's a different ending.
Okay. How does it play?
I have no idea. I just know that it didn't. I don't think they all got together. That kind of thing.
I think it is kind of silly when the play goes off without a hitch, and then they got the wedding ring, and they're all paired up. Yeah, I thought that was a little like, come on. All right, that's much.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see Fred and Belinda finally getting together, and maybe Gary and Dottie,
but not
making up.
But not Selsden and not Poppy. And
Selsden and Dottie are getting together, and Frederick and Belinda and Gary all of a sudden for no reason with Brooke.
Yeah,
it's just like, all right, how did we get here?
A movie. And
I think it would be much better if the final performance also messed up. Like that's what the audiences liked about the play.
Mm-hmm.
But instead they put it on the play perfectly in the last one. So yeah.
Would you have, so originally the character of Belinda was going to be played by Annie Potts, but she had a car accident, so she couldn't do, she had to drop out. Would you have liked that? Now this is Annie Potts this is after Ghostbusters. So
No, because if it was Annie Potts, who I grew up with Ghostbusters more than a Taxi, I'd have been even more disappointed that she wasn't given more to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I think Mary Lou Henner did a fine job.
Mm-hmm. Now, just to go back to the play, so the original Broadway production of Noises Off opened in December of 1983. It ran for 553 performances and was nominated for Best Play for the 1984 Tony Awards.
Nice.
So now I'm asking you because I'm going to ask you to tell the audience, but do you know what Noises Off refers to? The title, the stage cue. Do you know what that is? Oh, you don't know.
It's right before you go on, right?
So Noises Off is a stage cue used in plays by a playwright to indicate noises occurring off stage.
Okay.
So yeah, so he's saying noises off and the noises come on.
Okay. I have not done any,
really.
I have not done any plays where they've had background sound effects.
Well, then you maybe need to do this play. Call up your play guys and get going. I'll tell you what. If you need me to step in as one of the characters, I will. I'll come in for it.
You can be Frederick. You can be Frederick
because he's tall and I'm tall.
Yeah. Need a tall Clark Kent looking motherfucker. Get me feel.
Was it nice seeing Denholm Elliott
as someone other than Marcus Brody?
Yes. Yeah, right. I
forgot he was in Trading Places.
Yeah.
But then because I was thinking, I was like, have I seen him in anything else? And I was like, oh yeah, okay, I have. But yes, it was nice. Although he is a little bit like bumbling Marcus Brody from Last Crusade.
Well, he's supposed to be somebody.
Does anyone speak English?
He's a like. What's the word? He's a functioning alcoholic. Like the whole running gag.
I love that hiding the whiskey bottle
is to stop him from drinking. Yeah, and people keep hiding it, and then people keep finding it in the hiding places. Like we gotta hide this. They keep hiding it like 20 times.
It's so good. I think he's following it like a dog following a treat. It's so good. And then the entire act 2, they're like hand signals to each other. They're talking, and the hand signals make no sense, but yet somehow they understand what the other person's saying. I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. This is so good.
Well, I like also the gag when Lloyd comes back there and he wants to buy flowers for Vicky. So he gives Tim the money, and Tim keeps going on getting flowers, and people keep intercepting the flowers thinking they're for them, and he keeps giving them less and less money.
So it's a cactus.
Yeah. And then he gives her the one flower and it just droops, and he's just like
I love when he sits on the cactus and they're picking out the pines.
Yeah.
And they're out in the alleyway, and then the rest of the stage crew, that's all women, come by and they laugh at Tim.
I still laugh when when the three burglars thing happens.
Oh, so, and they're all saying the same line.
Yes. So in the play, there's a cue for the burglar to show up, and it's every time Frederick says a line and he closes the door.
Yep.
And so the first time, because they can't find Selsden, Lloyd, Michael Caine's character, does it. He just comes on there and he starts doing it, and then they get all confused, and
Selsden does come out.
They redo the line because Frederick's like, I was just over here and I did this, and then Selsden does come out as the burglar, and then they start repeating the same lines to each other, and then the third time they do it again, then Tim comes out because he's the understudy for all of them.
And he's such a bad actor. He's so nervous about being on stage. It's like, why are you even an understudy?
When he shows up, when Frederick falls in the back, you hear him like whatever happens.
Yeah.
And then he shows up and it's just like, oh, it's you. Oh, okay.
You look a little different. And like he's got the taxidermy in his hand, but it's clearly also the script. And so he's just reading his lines.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets left on stage and you could see he's like shaking.
And that's the show in Florida, right? That's when they do the matinee. Yeah.
I love that that Poppy keeps going 3 minutes to places. Please take your seats. And then Tim doesn't know that Poppy said anything. So you have 4 minutes to places, please. And Lloyd's there with his gummy bears. He takes his bag of gummy bears going, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, because he's like, we're all out there. Everyone's standing up. They don't look for the bathroom to stay down. We don't know what's going on out there.
It's all seniors. It's the matinee. And him talking about his Hamlet performance in New York.
Yeah.
Ophelia's getting a divorce. Hamlet's got a nervous breakdown.
Which is ironic. Yeah. Well, I guess in the play, because this play is a primarily English play, British play, excuse me. He's actually directing Richard III, but they changed it to Hamlet because they thought American audiences would understand that better. Well,
okay.
I mean, whatever. But
I mean, everybody knows Hamlet, so I guess that makes sense.
I know they made changes in terms of just certain words that they use to reference things. I get that. Obviously, it's not going to play well because people are going to try to figure out what are they talking about.
Do British people really like plates of just sardines?
I don't know. I think it's just the fact that they're disgusting. Maybe. I don't know. At the salted
sardines. Right? 8 plates of sardines.
I always think of when he eats the sardines in the Burbs on the pretzel. When Tom Hanks does that, I always remember that.
I've known some people to eat, sardines from a can on like pretzels or crackers, but like 1 or 2, never like a plate of them just slopped on.
Obviously, I don't eat meat, so I'm not going to have them now, but I never had them before. I never had any interest. Are they very salty?
They're very salty. They're not bad. They're just really salty.
Well, maybe that's like salted cod. Like that's a big thing overseas, right? Maybe that's just something along that line. No, I've never been into that.
Listen, I know we have a British audience. If you go to the lobby on our Facebook page and let us know.
Hey, Captivate.
You love sardines. I love when Dottie loses it though too, and she's got her accent, and then she doesn't have.
Well,
an accent.
I think that was on purpose. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely, because she just doesn't care anymore. It's the third performance at that point. She's just like, whatever. Here I am. I mean, let's go do this. She takes the phone,
and then when Gary falls down the stairs, and that's the Cleveland show, right?
That's the Cleveland show. Yeah,
he falls down the stairs and he's passed out.
Yep. And
they all come out and they're like, "Oh, hey, who's this guy here?" Because he's not supposed to be there. And they're just like, "Is he okay?"
He's dead.
So, I always like to go back and read some reviews. So, Lawrence O'Toole of the Entertainment Weekly, and this is a quote, said, "Nothing is as murderous on a farce as film. Its mechanics can work beautifully from the distance of the stage, but the closeness of the home screen points out every flaw in Peter Bogdanovich's futile attempt. Anoretic visuals, bloated acting, broad timing, and often dull direction. The cast members are all game, but it's exhausting watching actors try so hard." It's like,
oh, boo on you. Dude.
Yeah, I know. It's like, okay, Larry.
You really like what you wrote there. You really described it real well.
Yeah.
What a turtleneck wearing critic.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's tough. I understand the role of a critic. But you watch so much stuff that it's, at some point you got to just, take it for what it is. If it doesn't connect to you, it doesn't connect to you. Bloated acting and broad timing and anoretic visuals. I'm sorry. It's a stage play.
He just wants to sound smart, dude.
Yeah.
He's clearly the critic from Ratatouille, but for film. I hate those kind of.
But it's like, instead of anoretic, why don't you use anorexic? Because that's what you mean. Like that's exactly.
But it's one of the things I like. I mean, I don't agree with Ebert most of the time. But when he wrote like a human being, and he didn't try to write like a douchebag to seem like a douchebag.
Right.
I hate critics that do that.
Well, that's because a lot of critics come from a literature background, and they take it.
They just want to
criticism.
seem heightened.
Oh, I got you. No.
They are drama students who became film critics.
But not that we're going to go on a critic tangent, but now you have bloggers that are critics, and these bloggers don't have any kind of understanding.
Knowledge or understanding. I hate that too when they don't know.
And they're just trying to do blurbs so that they get on the poster. I always love when you watch a commercial on TV. And it's got like, and it's a movie that
Jim Johnson from JoBlo.com says, "Wow, I watched this movie."
Or it's like it's their Twitter handle, and it's like, and you know the movie's not good. Like you're watching that, and you're like the movie, you've seen it, it's not that good. It's fine, whatever. They made a movie, congratulations, but it's not that good. And they have like these 3 quotes up there that it acts like the movie Citizen Caine or something. And then if you go back and watch them, it's the same person that they're quoting. It's like you just took 3 quotes from the same person. It's like your movie sucks. And when you have a movie that has that, when you have a trailer that shows that kind of quote from somebody, it usually means it needs that help. That's why it's out there.
Yeah.
When you start seeing the movies that are Oscars and you start seeing 4-star boom, boom, boom from like different publications like the LA Times and Wall Street Journal, all that stuff, that's a little bit more like, okay, this is getting
legitimate publications.
Right. But when it's all like these like quotes from Twitter handles, it's like, no, beware. Buyer beware. But I think you're right. I would like these publications to do less. Like, could I be a critic? Probably. Do I want to? I don't know, because it would always be like, this is my opinion, and it kind of didn't work for me. I wouldn't slam a movie unless it was blatantly unless it was clear like an actor or an actress or a director was phoning it in, and I'd be like, why do you want my money? I want my money back if you're not going to take the time to make something.
But if you don't slam a movie constantly, no one's going to take
exactly. If you're not quote unquote controversial for whatever reason, if you're not outly spoken about stuff, no one's going to read your stuff. So that's kind of like, it's kind of like, how do you do it? Damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. You can't love everything.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Which you shouldn't love everything.
No.
And we don't love everything on this podcast.
But just because you don't like something doesn't mean if somebody else likes it, you're like, okay, fine. That connected you. Not,
I don't want to toot our own horn, but when we don't like stuff, at least we try to find the good and stuff.
Sure.
Critics who hate things for no reason will never try to find like the good in something.
Sure.
Like that guy's review is just like, oh, the cast is all game.
Yeah. But it's like,
you also said they have bloated acting.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You can't do both.
Broad timing. It's like, I'm sorry.
Broad timing. It's a play.
But honestly, see, to me, it's like you're in the minority there, because clearly like John Ritter is known for his timing, for his comedic timing.
Absolutely.
And how he is. That's his big, like, he's extremely popular and he does it so well. You're saying he doesn't. That's like, you're saying everyone else they're wrong. It's like, you're wrong, pal. You're wrong. I
bet he doesn't like Clue either, because this movie gave me big Clue vibes in terms of the cast having to work together with timing and choreography.
But that's the thing.
Speed.
Like, yes, movies like that are so like everyone's like, oh, going crazy and stuff like that. Like that takes a lot of work to get to. It's not just editing, especially in Clue, because they do a lot of like one shots and they're in the big hall. But in this one too, they do the same
ton of one shots. It's just like you have to appreciate the effort that went into it.
Absolutely.
And so the camera doesn't do much because the focus is on the actors performing this play.
Yeah.
It's got to look like a play. That's the whole point. It's framed like the play.
Yeah.
That's a dumb review. Good movie.
Well, I'm surprised that you had never heard it. You had never heard of it before this show.
I'd never heard of it. No.
Well, I'm not surprised at that, because you are obviously somebody who has done stage plays in college and stuff like that. You would think that you're with a group of people that kind of would gravitate towards something like that. Hey,
this is too fun.
You think so?
Drama students suck, dude. I mean, I was
whoa, I'm not saying that.
They don't suck, but they can be very high on themselves, much like the critics.
Much like a lot of them become much like indie filmmakers, some indie filmmakers, much like a lot of people that are doing art.
I always bring up a story of we were doing, I think, Julius Caesar, and one of the actors go, wouldn't it be great if we just took down the writing and just did the play as like an emotion, just did the play as just the emotion of the play. And I said, I'm the only one who spoke up and went, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That sounds terrible. No one would buy tickets to that. And they're like, oh, Mike doesn't think that's a good idea. And I go, no, we're actors to tell a story. The emotion is part of the rest of the story, but that's how drama students think. They want to do the avant-garde stuff because that's what they're taught, and they're taught that heightened, you can make a difference, you can change the world with acting, and it's just like, let's do something fun like Noises Off. No one would talk about from like college would talk about doing a play like this. This is something that you would maybe get after college when you've kind of calmed down and you're off your high horse about how heightened acting is. And now the people I went to school with would probably love to do something like that.
Well, that's probably the benefit of experience, of time, of understanding their craft and knowing what works and what they like. And maybe, but in college, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be like that. I remember I went to an acting class and it was like, they did the mirror exercise and they did the tree thing. And I was just like, nah, I don't want to do this. And like, I think that was an indication at that point that I'd rather just create it and rather than be a part of it. Acting wise and stuff like that.
I mean, but there's still.
I don't mind. Listen, I don't mind performing. It's not something that I gravitate towards as much.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the tree stuff and the mirror stuff and the act like you're in jelly stuff. That's all crap. That's all BS. I mean, it does help some people who can't quite imagine.
Sure.
Because if you don't have an imagination, you're not going to be a good actor.
And maybe that's good for an intro acting class because it kind of gets you into that mindset.
The best acting classes I've ever done are the ones that got me to emote. Mm-hmm. Like Peter Sanders was one of my professors at Hofstra, and he did a class where you did to do a monologue to him. And he said, nope, don't believe it. Nope, don't believe it. And you'd have to keep doing it over and over again. For
Wait, is this weeks. Like Whiplash?
Basically, almost. And he'd be like, I don't believe it. And he'd be like, show me with your eyes that you're doing this. And he goes, you're not going to all do stage all the time. You're going to do film. So, and even when you do stage, if you can't convince me with your eyes that you believe this, if I can't believe what you're saying, get out of here.
Wait a minute. He didn't teach you the 90s look away when you have a tough thing to say and then come back? He didn't teach you that?
No, you want to look straight.
Because that is rife in the 90s.
And then he'd pick a random other classmate and go, all right, now do it to him. Mm-hmm. And like, you'd have to stare at this person who you've never performed this monologue to and just like about where we are now and just like perform this 5-minute monologue.
Good.
And it was like, wow, that's good.
You learn more from that. The monologue.
Yeah, we memorized it.
You weren't like looking
you have to emote it.
Yeah.
And that was better act. That taught you stuff that you can't learn from like Jello and trees and stuff like that.
Now act like a tree.
Well, some people think of acting class. A lot of people think of like the tree and the Jello and the warm up. Sure. But there's more to it.
I don't know what that was, but all right.
Like the diaphragm exercise.
Whatever. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. That's a different world. I mean, but there's all different kinds of actors, Butler. I mean, you're just not that kind of actor. Which is fine.
I'm not snooty. Yeah.
Well, I didn't say that. Well, back to this. So you're going to do this play. That's what's happening. You're going to get a director. You're going to direct this play off Broadway in Connecticut.
The office of Broadway, Connecticut.
So maybe, my point of asking you, how come you never heard about that? I'm wondering then, because I don't really buy. I know what you're saying. Why you didn't it wasn't shown to you? Maybe. But my question is going to be why do you think it wasn't? Why is it forgotten?
Touchstone messed up. It went up against a bunch of tough movies. I mean that week's films and the week after were a lot of good films. The week before is My Cousin Vinny. That hurts it. True. But also limited. Why limited? Mm-hmm. You've got actors in here. John Ritter is a name in the early 90s.
But he's a TV name. See, that's the thing. This is when TV's bad and movies are good. And obviously that's first. Yeah. But this is back then thinking.
Yeah, Michael Caine.
I hear you.
Carol Burnett.
Michael Caine. I'm trying to think of Michael Caine's career because Michael Caine had a time when he wasn't hot, if you will. When did Cider House Rules was late 90s, right? Yeah.
Late 90s, early 2000s.
That's when Michael Caine started coming back bigger stuff. Yeah. This was like Michael Caine hot off of Jaws 4, that kind of thing. Like, so I understand what you're saying.
Right.
But I'm trying to give you like what they're thinking, which is incorrect thinking.
It's still got enough actors to give it a wide release.
I hear you.
Even if they're just TV, you've got 5 or 6 of them. That makes one movie movie star, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't get why it got a limited release, and I think it was put between tough movies. You can't put a comedy movie next to My Cousin Vinny. It's just not gonna fly.
It would have to be My Cousin Vinny is really funny, and My Cousin Vinny took a lot of people by surprise, which is why she won the Oscar for that. I'm talking about
Marissa
Tomei. So it was just like it was like a huge. Everyone was going to see it. Noises Off is not the movie itself. I don't think appeals broadly because I think people probably were confused about it's a stage. It's what I think the fact that Carol Burnett, Mark Lynn Baker, John Ritter, these are people that are TV stars. Mary Lou Henner, TV stars. This is Christopher Reeve, not a Superman, so people are probably already thrown by that.
Yep.
And so I don't think it had the star power that maybe us looking back are like, oh man, that would have been, I don't understand how this didn't do well.
Right.
So I can say, like, to your point about it being forgotten, is it's probably didn't really get a lot of big push in terms of like, hey, check out Noises Off. It was just like, we'll put it out. We're good. We'll see how it goes. Yeah.
When did Clue come out?
Clue was 89. No, 86. No, I'm going to look it up.
Which, by the way, we did Clue in one of our other episodes.
Clue was 85.
Clue's 85.
I was getting there.
So Clue's 85. This is 92. They're so similar in style that maybe it would have done better right when the play was hot, when Clue was coming out. Yeah. But also Clue didn't do well. Clue became a cult classic.
True.
So, I mean, I am surprised this didn't grow over time to become a cult classic. But again, that limited release hurts it. And the fact that it's Touchstone and Disney doesn't believe in Touchstone and we can't get these films anywhere. I have to rent this movie.
Yeah.
You don't see it anymore.
I question the production budget of $12 million. Where's that going? Is that cast salaries?
It's got to be salaries.
Because like it's basically one set. Oh, I mean, I guess, did they change stages?
No, you know what? In Miami, they never look out to the audience other than the close-ups of the audience when Lloyd's sitting down. So I don't think they changed locations.
I don't know where the budget went. Like, and again, I don't know how much it takes to get into to make a stage play in terms of like how much plays cost and something like this with all that.
I mean, it's an okay looking set, but that's not a $12 million set.
So that's a lot of money. That for a movie like this, I would have been, I think I would have been less surprised if it was maybe like $8 million budget. I just wonder where the $12 million went. Cause granted back then though, that's probably what for now, 25 million.
Yeah.
If you're talking about
double
inflation,
at least.
Yeah. That's gotta be salaries. I mean, Cara Burnett is hot off of the Cara Burnett show. Like that was, I wonder if a lot of people have seen the Cara Burnett show. You've seen it. Have you seen any episodes?
I've seen some of it. Yeah.
That's very funny.
Before my time, but yeah, I've seen some of it. Yeah.
All right, so I guess maybe it could also be a movie that fell through the cracks. I think this definitely. I would like to see this play if it was ever done again. And I mean, like, can you really revive this movie? I don't want to see it redone because I don't think
you can match that cast.
Seriously, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think like who's playing the Ritter character, like who's taking over for John Ritter. And Carol Burnett, those two, like those are two. It's almost like those are the perfect people for those roles. And I'm curious who's going to take over for them. That I'm going to have to sit there and go, nope, not the same.
I was going to say someone who could do pratfalls and stuff. I was going to say like Kevin Hart, but it's tough because there aren't a lot of like other than Kevin Hart. Can you think of any big comedian actors anymore that are
stage guys
that are that old who can do that, who can perform? If you believe they're performing in front of a live audience?
I think you could do this is if you just cast people from the stage that are strong, that you wanted to, and you made this like, people you didn't know.
Sure.
So that you don't have to worry about comparisons.
It's less people are coming to the theaters.
But no, I get that. But you can make this movie for like $2 million, $1 million. So, what are you asking for in terms of like that you could make that money easily back if it went to streaming after it had a small theatrical release.
Probably.
But yeah. So you would clearly recommend this to anyone you know?
Oh, I think pretty much everybody would like this. Yeah, I think it's funny. I think it works. I think the meta-ness of it really works for today. Mm-hmm. That it's a film about a play being played.
Interesting.
I think anybody would like it. I don't know anyone who doesn't like the movie Clue. Again, I bring up Clue a lot.
I don't either.
And I think this is similar. So I think I'd be like, you like Clue? Watch this. I think this would be the next step. I think this is something you would really enjoy because of that same kind of physical comedy, the quick choreography. Like you appreciate it in multiple ways. Mm-hmm. I think anybody I could recommend. I don't know anyone who wouldn't like this.
I can see somebody not liking this who's more into film than they are stage plays and plays. I think if somebody who knows both worlds or somebody who even just knows stage play world and the plays, mm-hmm. I think they would like this as much as we do. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah. All right, cool. So actually, where can they find us?
Well, you can find us at ForgottenCinemaPodcast.com or ForgottenEntertainment.com as we are part of the Forgotten Entertainment family. You can also find us on the social medias. Join us in The Lobby or Forgotten Cinemas The Lobby, which is on Facebook, where we talk about these movies. Let us know what you think about Noises Off. If you've ever seen the play, again, if you're from England and you're a fan, and you can tell us about your love of sardines, I'd love to hear about it. Just find us all over the social medias and wherever you get your podcasts. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe to this episode and all of our episodes.
Awesome. And we will be back next week as we're going to be going to 1997, where we're going to watch Dennis Quaid tracking down a serial killer in Switchback.
Yeah.
That's next week. So everyone, I hope this episode's out right now. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone that celebrates.
Gobble, gobble.
Don't eat too much. Don't get too bloated with turkey. And I'm not going to eat turkey because I don't eat meat. So I guess it's not a good holiday for me. Oh,
well, it's still sweet potatoes. There's mashed potatoes.
I don't like sweet potatoes.
Apple pie.
I like
sweet potatoes.
No, I don't. I don't like yams. I don't like yams with marshmallows. I don't like cranberry sauce.
Jeez.
Mashed potatoes is fine.
Green
beans? Green beans fine.
Green bean casserole.
I'm okay with that.
All right.
I mean,
stuffing.
I'm okay with stuffing. Obviously, there's no sausage in it. No.
Right.
There's stuff I can eat. I don't like pumpkin pie.
Jesus, dude.
I don't like pumpkin
Apple pie.
Apple pie's okay, but it's got to be. There's got to be a way it's made. Like I don't like chunky apple pie. Like I don't like big apples in the thing. I got things. I got problems.
And on that note,
so that's it. We will see you next week. I'm Mike Field.
I'm Mike Butler.
And this has been Forgotten Cinema.